What's going on YouTube? So while not as prominent as some of the biggest car rivalries out there, heavy-duty trucks have been in fierce competition, particularly over the last few years. One of the top contenders, nipping at the heels of the Ford Super Duty, is this Ram 2500 Heavy Duty. In addition to enormous size and specs, 2022 adds some updates to make it even more competitive. So with that being said, let's go ahead and check out this 2500 HD Beast and see what it has to offer for 2022. Alright, so let's kick this review off by talking about the exterior design. Now, of course, if you're familiar with the 1500, you will see a lot of similar design characteristics with the 2500 and the 3500 models, but everything here does look a bit tougher. So today we have the Laramie trim level. You're going to have a grille that looks kind of like this, but you do have different variations. What we have today is the Night Edition. It's a very nice looking package that combines a lot of body color elements as well as the black fascia you see here, the blacked out Ram badging, and like I was saying, the bumper here is normally going to be finished in a chrome, but this is going to be body colored on this one. I really like how sleek this all looks together. Now as we come over on this wide hood to the headlights, we have the full LED headlights. These are included when you choose this Laramie trim level or above. As you can see, you have reflector beams for both your low and high beams. You have your daytime running light that runs through here, and then we do have the turn signal below, but that is going to be incandescent. And then finally, we do also have an LED fog lamp. Now, I did forget to mention in the front, the ground clearance, we do have standard 10.1 inches, but you can go all the way up to 14.2 inches if you choose that off-road capable power wagon. But now let's go ahead and talk about the wheels. Of course, tons of different choices. The base model is going to come with steel wheels at 17 inches. However, most of the lineup is going to come with 18-inch alloys. Today on this example, since we have that Night Edition I was talking about, we've got the 20-inch blacked out alloy wheels, which I think, again, look really nice and sleek with this exterior design and this dark blue paint color. Additionally, we do have all-terrain tires wrapped around these. And as we move on from that, you're going to notice your big heavy-duty branding up here. Of course, we've got the big turbo diesel, as you can probably hear right now. And we also have very large mirrors on this specific example. These are the towing mirrors. We also have a special blind spot mirror, but not blind spot monitoring built into the mirror itself, and they are going to be heated.
Well guys, it's my pleasure to talk to you about the longest vehicle we have ever reviewed on the Car Confections channel. You can see that here at the side. I'm sure the camera has to back up a million miles to see the full length of this truck. This is coming in at 260.8 inches long, which is about 22 feet long. So this definitely is not going to fit in your average garage, so don't be expecting it to. Now, let's talk about your cab and bed configurations for the 2500. This is just the standard crew cab version, so believe it or not, there is actually a bigger mega cab version that you can get on this truck. However, if you go for the mega cab, you will be stuck with the standard six and some change foot bed. However, we have the 8-foot bed on this particular model. So if you want that maximum bed utility and that 8-foot bed, you will have to get the crew cab version of this. Now, let's walk our way around to the long side and head around to the back. This is going to be pretty much your typical Ram truck. It's really no different than what you see on a Ram 1500, which certainly is a great thing because the Ram 1500 is a beautiful truck. Now, here in the middle, we do have a big tough Ram emblem. It's quite large, as you can see for reference. Heading over to our taillights, these are going to be the premium version of the taillights that you can get on the 2500. So that's going to be full LED across the board. So that's going to be LED turn signal, LED brake light, LED reverse light. However, you do have to go for at least the Laramie trim to get the LED components. Then if you drop down to this lower area, it is nicely body colored down here. And I want to talk about the tow rating. Of course, if you buy a heavy duty truck like this, you're going to need to tow and use it. This particular model actually has the maximum tow rating you can get on any heavy duty Ram. The turbo diesel 4x2 has 20,000 pounds as its maximum. But this baby has the 8-foot bed, so let's go ahead and talk about some of the features back here. So of course we do have a soft opening tailgate here, and then that's going to reveal acres of space to put whatever you're gonna need. 8 foot is definitely large enough to fit stuff like full beds. Whatever you're gonna need back here, it's gonna have plenty of space. Now, as you can see, this is just the standard bed liner on this model. As far as the features that you can get Ram boxes, as well as a few other goodies if you need to customize this area to your liking. And if you look on the left side here, you will notice that we have a household style outlet. Let me go over here and let's see, it might actually be several different household style outlets. I think this might be for your gooseneck trailer. I'm not exactly sure, I'm not a towing expert, but we do have the hookups in the bed area here as well as that power outlet as well. Now your safety systems are going to be optional on the Ram 2500, so I'm glad to see that they are at least available on this heavy duty truck. So in the safety group, you will get forward emergency braking, lane keeping assist, auto high beams, as well as adaptive cruise control. So all those packages are thrown in that one safety group, and it is optional on all of the models. Now, as far as your warranty information, you're looking at a 3-year, 36,000 mile basic warranty, 5-year, 60,000 mile powertrain warranty. However, if you go for the turbo diesel like this model right here, you will extend that maximum mileage up to 100,000 miles for the warranty. Well guys, that's going to be all for the outside of this absolutely massive truck. But now we're going to check out the inside before we take it out and spin.
There's a lot of noise out there, so I wanted to go ahead and climb inside here. As you can tell, we don't actually have the running boards on this, so it is quite the jump to get inside the vehicle. That being said, it is manageable even for someone of my size, since we do have the nice assist grip over here on the side. Now, as far as your key fob is concerned, you do have the standard smart entry system with the newest Ram branded key fob. And as you can tell, you do have remote start built into the fob as well. And let's go ahead and kick off the interior by talking about material and color choices. Of course, across the 2500 range, you have pretty much every combination you can imagine. With this Laramie we have today, that's going to come standard with leather seating, as you can tell. You got the choice between black, or you have this brown and beige combination as well. The seats themselves, though, look really nice on this example. I love the Laramie and branding in the back there. I like the suede inserts in the seat, as well as the color contrast piping. And as you can see, it is perforated with a kind of zigzag pattern. Very comfortable as well. As far as the seats themselves, they're going to be 8-way power adjusting with 2-way lumbar support over here on the driver's side. And let's go ahead and talk about the materials inside of the cabin, because this is not a fully loaded model, but I'm still very impressed by how nice the cabin is in here. So you do have the leather armrest that goes all through here with the double stitching detail. You have a suede insert right there. Looks like a faux carbon fiber through the center, and then more of the leatherette with the stitching detail all through there. As we move into the upper dash, we again have more leatherette with the stitching detail. That continues down through there. You've got the Laramie branding, and then we have soft touch materials all through the lower areas until you get down here. This is going to be hard touch, but everything in here does fit together extremely well and feels very solid. Now to start it up, put your foot on the brake and press the standard button. And taking a look here at the gauges, once you get up to the Laramie level, that's where you're going to get this large multi-function display right there in the middle. This is the same as what we've seen in some of the other Ram products like the 1500, and you can just cycle between a lot of different kinds of information using the steering wheel mounted controls. Definitely looks pretty nice. And as we come back here to the steering wheel, you will also find a leather wrap steering wheel with the Laramie. If you went for a higher trim level, I believe that integrates in some wood for a little bit of a fancier look. And then as far as the wheel itself, it is going to be manual tilting. It actually does not telescope, but right in this area, it's a little hard to see. this is where you have the adjustment for our model's power adjusting pedal. So that's going to be part of equipment group B, and you can just push those buttons right there on the wheel to adjust the pedals. Additionally, inside of that and packaged with that is going to be the 2-person memory seating. Well, let's go ahead and talk about interior storage, because of course this is a truck for work first and foremost, so we have to have a lot of storage, and indeed we do. You have this top storage area there covered in felt. Open this up and you just have an enormous amount of space. This goes all the way down through here. Just like with the 1500 model, you have this floating area which you can push back and forth, and then you have all the space still underneath of it. And we also have a household outlet there. As you can see, wireless phone charging pad, little place there, little place there. You have storage along the sides, storage in the door trim, storage up there, storage absolutely everywhere. Sound like I'm Dr. Seuss or something. All right, there you go. There's the coupons in there. Absolutely a joke. Inside of a vehicle like this, you're gonna have space for anything you need. Now, I do want to point something out. You'll notice now that we're at the shifter, we actually have the column mounted shifter. That's because when you choose the diesel, that's going to get the column mounted shifter. Otherwise, you're actually going to get the rotary shifter on the gas powered model. Of course, you're just going to pull down for drive, up for reverse. When we go into reverse, we do have the 360-degree camera system on here. This is optional across all of the trim levels. I would recommend it when you're driving something as big as this. And that horrible beeping that is the front and rear parking sensors, which you can see the visualization of that right there. Now I'll go ahead and put it into park so that you can actually hear me talk, but you do also have the availability of trailer and bed cameras as well. I should also mention that you do have 2 different types of USB ports for each front occupant. And then above that, we do have our tow haul mode. We have some stuff for the parking sensors. You also have all of these buttons here where you can add different accessories and be able to power them on and off from here. And then, of course, your trailer brake controller. Now moving on up here, starting with the Laramie level, that's where you're gonna get this dual zone automatic climate control setup. Just make your temperature adjustments as easy as that. You're gonna see that reflected up there on the display, although there's no numbers or anything down here. And this, of course, very simple and easy to use. Additionally, there's that heated steering wheel button I was mentioning earlier, and we do also have 3-stage heated seats. Those are standard on this model. We also have the ventilation, and that is in that equipment group 2 I was mentioning earlier. And a little bit above that, we have our audio controls. So with the Laramie level, you have the 9-speaker Alpine system with a subwoofer. You do have the availability to go up all the way to the 17-speaker Harman Kardon Premium sound system, but we have that version today, so let's go ahead and take a sample of that. Yeah, so just like what I said in the Ram 1500, this sound system is absolutely incredible. Sounds fantastic, and definitely is one of the best sound systems you can get in any type of truck. Okay, so now we are here at our infotainment system. So just like in previous years, you're gonna have 5 inches, 8.4 inches, and 12-inch display options. We've got the middle ground. This is the 8.4-inch display, but the sizes are not what's important this year. What's important is that we have a brand new infotainment system. This is the Uconnect 5.0. So with that, you're gonna get a lot of benefits, particularly in terms of graphics and performance. Everything's gonna be a lot faster, and just work in general a lot better. The other big tangible thing I think you'll notice is the fact that we have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay abilities. Those are included wireless now. So that's a new advantage that you're gonna have, is a wireless ability, which is what I'm using right now. Everything works nice and responsive and looks very crisp. If you don't want to use Google Maps or anything like that, we do have a built-in navigation system as well. As we move on up here, we do have a frameless auto-dimming mirror. However, flip that switch and it is a rear camera mirror. Obviously very important in a vehicle like this, since it is so large. and also you could be towing a trailer or something like that, and does work with trailer support, new for 2022. Up above we do have our 3 HomeLink universal remotes, and then we do have LED interior lighting. We don't have a sunroof on this specific example, but you can get one if you want.
Well guys, this is a big truck, and some of that space is going to be here in the rear area for the 2500 Ram. Now we have the crew cab version, which means we're going to have 40.2 inches of legroom, 39.8 inches of headroom. As you can see, that is a lot of space. I have about, I would say, 7 or 8 inches of room between my knees and the seat back. I'm 5'9", Drew's 5'8" for reference, and my feet can easily slide up underneath of the seat. Now, one thing I do want to point out is that you can actually get this 2500 in a mega cab, which megas this rear area. You're going to have 43 inches of legroom for that, so that's going to increase your space back here, make it even nicer. That's a unique thing for the heavy-duty trucks, because Ford does not offer that, and Chevy doesn't offer that on their heavy-duty versions. Now, as far as the features are concerned, here in the middle we have 2 cup holders up top, some nice trim. We're going to have standard vents here in the middle. Really like all this going on here. And you are also going to have this little storage cubby. Not really sure what this is for, but you're going to have plenty of outlets to keep everything charged up. 2 USB-Cs, 2 charging USBs, as well as a household style outlet. In addition, this model right here does have heated rear seats. I believe you can also get ventilated seats if you go for a really high-end model. Right here we have some two cup holders here in the middle, and if that's not enough for you, you got 2 more that you can fold out of this center armrest. And let's look at the door trim. The door trim is going to be really nicely finished. We got leather on the top part. We got lots of door storage if we drop below the handle, and even in the bottom. Now your passenger seat is going to be manually adjusting because we do have a higher end version here. And then let's look at our storage. If we pop this open, you'll notice we have a decent amount of storage. It's not massive by any means, but it's definitely good enough to fit our coupons in there. And if we pop this open, there's more space right here if you want to throw some stuff there. And then up top, we have a mega sun visor. And we're also going to have illumination as well as a mirror. And we can also detach it as well as extend it out.
Quick and easy as that, we're up to 60 miles per hour. So like I mentioned, we do have the turbo diesel model. I believe that's what the majority of people end up choosing when you're going for one of these heavy duty trucks, and for obvious reasons. One of those reasons is 370 horsepower, 850 pound-feet of torque, which is outrageous, of course, and you know, you're putting these things to work, so that's definitely very useful in terms of towing and various different tasks. This is the 6.7 liter Cummins turbo diesel.
Yeah, and it is also worth noting that you can, if you go for the 3500, that boosts your torque figure ever so slightly. Well, I guess not ever so slightly, but to over 1,000 pound-feet of torque. So I guess if you need even more capability, you can get that 3500 model that will boost your torque figure a little bit. Now, if you cannot afford the $9,500 that the diesel engine does require you pay, that is a pretty steep asking price, but all the diesel trucks are like that. You will have a standard 6.4 liter Hemi V8 that's making 410 horsepower, 429 pound-feet of torque.
Right, so definitely nothing to sleep on for that standard gas power model, but like I said, I think most people choose the diesel. It just feels more fitting for a big heavy duty truck like this. I'll go ahead and mention the transmissions, because depending on if you choose that Hemi or you choose the Cummins, that's going to change that situation. So you do have a 6-speed automatic here with the diesel model, and 8-speed automatic with the gas powered model. And of course, you know, as I take off here, just pay attention to how things shift. With a lot of torque, you don't even need to shift all that often, so it's really not a problem that it's down a couple gears from the standard gas model. drive something that is 22 feet long, and it can accelerate very swiftly. I believe the 0 to 60 time, from what I'm feeling, I would estimate it's probably below 7 seconds.
And also, just sitting here, I think one of the really great elements about the driving experience is the ride quality. The ride quality is superb. I feel like I'm sitting like 10 foot above the ground. I'm looking down on literally everything. The seats are really comfortable. The suspension is tuned really great. And I do want to get a sound level reading with us going 55 miles per hour. 59.4 decibels. Actually, if it switched on me at the very end, 59.1 decibels. So that's certainly a really impressive reading. So,
one of the things I noticed just kind of cruising down the road is that it really feels a lot less bouncy and upset than some of the other heavy-duty trucks that we have driven. I think that's really quite remarkable. Additionally, we don't actually have it on this model, but you can get a rear auto leveling air suspension, and that's obviously going to even further make your ride more comfortable. And I believe that's the only heavy-duty truck to offer a rear air suspension in this segment.
Additionally, they've done acoustic glass as well to keep that sound insulation going well. Now, as far as your fuel economy, another practical element, it is of course not required that the EPA test heavy-duty trucks. So we actually don't have a rating for this, but I wouldn't expect to be getting much more than like 15 miles a gallon combined on diesel. All right, and we are in Kentucky, so let's do our airball and slam dunk. A part that we really like about this car, and maybe something, or truck, and maybe something that we can see improvement on. Now, our slam dunk today, I think that's really just going to be the overall practicality of this heavy duty. I like that you can live with it on the everyday, yet you have the turbo diesel engine that can tow literally anything. You have an 8-foot bed. This is as usable of a truck as you can get. Now, on our airball side of things, there's really not a lot wrong with this Ram, although I will say for the price tag, which I'll talk about in just a second, it would be nice to see features like a panoramic moonroof, or at least a standard size moonroof, standard equipment for a price level truck like this. Now, let's go ahead and talk about that price. So in order to get into $2,500, the starting point is $40,865 for the tradesman. And this particular truck, as equipped, of course, we do have that big ticket item of the turbo diesel engine. We're looking at a price of $77,110 as equipped.
But overall, this is our first time in the Ram heavy duty, and we're really impressed by this. Obviously, we love the standard Ram 1500, and I think what impresses me the most is that you get so much more capability out of this truck, but then, you know, when you're driving around, it kind of feels everyday livable, like Mason was saying, just like with the Ram 1500. I think that's a really awesome combination.
Well, guys, we really appreciate you making it this far in our in-depth review of the Ram 2500 heavy duty. Now, of course, if you made it this far in the video, I hope that means that you found our video helpful, liked watching it, or just like cars in general. And if it's any of those three things, we would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button down below. It helps give us better opportunities to show you all better content, so please go ahead and do that. Also follow us on TikTok and Instagram, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.